are live from Ohio. We're here with Mike Hawking with his 92 Honda Shadow VLX.
What's going on? So this is Betty. She's a 92. This was my brother's old Shadow, and he gifted it to me and got me on the motorcycles. So it was a good way to start. And basically spent the last couple years, last couple Fridays, you guys follow the page and stuff, getting it into the state it is now. Put the hardtail kit on it. TJ tank, TC Bros bars. Kept the stock front end. I'm more of a fan of the short chop. And then after I took the first road trip on it, decided my sissy bar was way too short. So had to build something taller, but something that fit the bike. Had a buddy that had like probably the last set of wheel dishes for a VLX on the planet Earth. Really? And he was like, hey man, you're looking for wheel dishes. I got one set left. You want them? And I was like, heck yeah, man. So he sent them out to me. And that is probably the thing I get the most questions and comments from people about is the dishes on the wheels. Yeah. So these are some old West Eagle drag pipes. Just cut them down, and then I used copper rivets to rivet them on to the bikes. They looked real pretty when I first did it, but you know, now it's after so many miles, paint's burning off and the rivets have turned black. But you know, it is what it is. Betty is what she is. I mean, she's a 32-year-old bike, so yeah. You know.
How'd you come up with the name Betty?
So I like a lot of brass and wanted a lot of brass stuff on the bike, and there's that old Ram Jam song Black Betty, and I thought Brass Betty sounds cool, and then I got kind of tired of saying all that, so she's just Betty now. So these are actually made to be spark plug covers. I went a little bit bigger with the tubing for the coolant, just because I could get them with just a small 90-degree bend, and I didn't have, you know, all the quirky factory bends and stuff, so they lay down nice close to the engine. So I threw those on to give it a little bit of a different look. Carbs rejetted up, running 45s and 145s, like 2 shims on the needles, and it's for the pipes and the setup. It's runs really great. Probably my favorite thing that I did to the bike is I've been riding this bike as a jockey shift for a long time, and I'd been wanting to. I had this chain set up in my mind, and I had amassed a lot of pieces and tried to start figuring out how I wanted it to work, and ended up. This is an old Harley Davidson highway peg mount, and then we cut up the peg mount part for it into the pieces we need, welded it up, and so yeah, got a chain driven foot clutch now, and of course jockey shift. This is off of a 35 knucklehead, I think is what it was, and I cut the long pivot off from where it was a tank shift, and it works great. Doesn't stick out too far. I'm not always hitting it, but it's easy reach, you know. Yeah. So the old WLA toolbox, because you got to have tools. So just kind of patina and painted it up to match the bike, and then there's just quirky things on the bike here and there. When you really start looking for them, like this old Craftsman wrench we made the license plate bracket out of. Then I didn't want to put the covers back. I didn't want to keep any plastic on the bike at all. Yeah. So I didn't want to put those plastic covers on for the swing arm pivot bolt. So I just put a coin in there. Because the Smoky Mountains, I spent a lot of my summers there growing up in North Carolina, and still go there every year on the bike. So I thought that would be a cool thing to put in there. And then I like to know how fast I'm going, and the RPMs to, you know, set my idle speed and all that stuff. So this is a little moto gadget. I didn't want something big. I sure didn't want to go with the stock one. So this is a little speedometer, and it's driven off of a reed switch with a magnet on the front wheel. Yeah. So I decided to make use of the front fender mount. So I made a brass tab, and then this was a old brass punch, and I drilled it out and fitted up the reed switch in here, and it just runs off a magnet that spins around on the wheel.
That's cool.
Yeah. So you can't use anything, any kind of magnetic material when you're running those, because it'll throw the sensor off. So like they recommend like brass or stainless. So of course brass was the way to go for what it is. So yeah, it's just.
You're running M unit, right?
Yeah, I'm running the M unit.
How's that?
It's hiding behind this panel right here. I have it flush mounted, so it's easy to read in there. It's great. Made it super easy to wire up the bike, and it's nice because if I have an issue, it'll send. You put an app on your phone. It's Bluetooth.
So you start your bike with Bluetooth?
You can. I haven't done it, but but you can.
Wow.
But yeah, it senses when you have the app on, when your bike, when the turn signals will flash, so it knows you're there. But it'll send diagnostics to the app if something's wrong, and it's super easy. You track it down, fix whatever it is, and then when you cut power to it and turn it back on, it automatically resets, and you're good to go again. So it takes a lot of guesswork out of like roadside fixes and things like that. So
what are these right here?
These are turn signals.
What?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So these are, I got these from Revival Cycle. They're called Supernovas.
Yeah.
And I have some on the lower tree in the front, and they're super bright. I didn't want anything really big, but I get.
Switches right here.
Yeah. Yeah, so I wired it up kind of like a Harley. So you got left turn signal and then right turn signal over here. And then, let's see, that's a headlight, high beam, low beam, and then a horn. And then this is a toggle switch for the speedo.
Can we see him?
Yeah, absolutely. Take the keys out of my pocket.
Dang, look at you, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So you can toggle through.
Is that the neutral switch too?
Yeah. So I got my neutral light on here and the oil pressure, and then these two outside ones are turn signals.
Dang, that's fancy.
Yeah, man.
All right, let's hear it.
It was a lot of wiring.
So does your turn signal turn on with the bike off like this?
Yeah, I can turn it on. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're pretty bright.
Yeah.
How about brake? Step on brake. Oh dang, it flashes too.
Yeah. Yeah, you can go in the app for this and you can change, there's like 12 different brake settings, and you can change the rate of flash on the turn signals. There's all kinds of stuff.
How about your rear brake? Does this flash too?
Yeah.
Dang, Mr. Safety, dude. That's cool. Let me see the front. Oh yeah, it's pretty bright. That's cool.
Yeah, they're bright.
How about your headlight? Can you turn it on?
Brighter than my headlight.
That's cool, man.
Yeah. So yeah, man.
All right, top 3 mods that you like.
Top 3 mods. The first one is the chain-driven foot clutch. The second one is the sissy bar, because this is the first actual sissy bar that Frank and I built for a bike. And then the third one is my knucklehead dipstick.
Oh dang, we didn't get to see that.
Yeah, so I had a friend out in California. He was in the Lake Elsinore area.
Yeah.
And he knew how much I love knuckleheads. And he said, watch your mail. So one day this package showed up, and that was in there. Cool. And there was a little note, and he said, plant this in your garden and see what grows. So about 6 months after that, he passed away.
Oh, shit.
So I wanted it on the bike somewhere.
Yeah.
So for some reason, my engine had an aluminum dipstick. It didn't have the black plastic one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so our buddy John at Gaddy's Garage, he was like, man, send me the dipstick and send me that and I'll take care of it for you.
That's awesome.
And he machined it all and put it together for me and sent it back. So that's like my friends riding with me,
yeah,
you know,
awesome,
all the time, man. So
good story too.
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome. What's the future plan for this bike?
Future plans for the bike is a new set of fork seals I'm going to go ahead and do both of them, but I'm developing like kind of a slow leak on the left side fork. Yeah. And really, man, just ride it. I mean,
yeah, enjoy it, right?
I kind of took the time to do it how I wanted to do it, and I might entertain some different bars at some point. Yeah. We have a set of rabbits in the shop, and I just want to do it to see what it's like. Yeah, yeah. So they were what Frank was going to put on his build, and he changed his mind, and I thought, I might throw them on there just to see what it is. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, I like it, man. Yeah. Where'd you get these? These are cool.
I made those.
Really? Wow. That's
so cool. Yeah, that's just ripple pipe that you can buy to make exhaust. Yeah. And I just measured the distance between my trees and cut them down, and then you have to put there's like an O-ring in here, a rubber O-ring that keeps them from having any spin to them. Yeah. But yeah, I just I didn't make them pretty or anything. I just gave them the same like patina that the rest of the bike has. But
yeah, I like it. I like the patina a lot.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I was going to make it. Originally, it was going to be solid gloss black, everything, frame, tanks, yeah. All of it, and just show off the brass everywhere. And I thought, she's an old girl, let her look like an old girl, It's just, so most of all the paint that you see, except for the gold stripes on the frame, that's all original paint. I just took some of it off in areas and then put some metal patina on there, and then I taped off the gold stripe all the way around with pinstripe tape, and I used a gold paint pen, and then kind of went over it with some Scotch-Brite and then cleared everything. So
good job, man.
Yeah, I'm happy with it.
I like the mirror too, nice and
Thanks.
small.
Yeah, I had a round one on there, like a lot of people do, and then I can't even remember where I found this, but I came across a square one, and I was like, that's different, know. And it actually gives me a little wider. Yeah. So I can position it, and I can actually see like the lane beside me and then over my shoulder to whoever's riding behind me, or if there's a car or whatever. Yeah.
Good job, man. I like it a lot.
Appreciate it.
All right, next we have Frank and his, what year's your bike?
92.
92, wow.
91. 91. Yeah, I get confused. For years I called it a 91 because of Mike's at 92. It's a 91 or 92.
Yours is more vintage, man.
Yeah, I think mine is.
Take us away.
Hey, this is my 92 Honda Shadow. Goes by Pedro. This is the third time I've chopped it up a little bit. Bought it, didn't know how to ride a motorcycle. Met Mike. Decided I had to have a Shadow. Bought a Shadow, chopped it, put a hardtail strut in it, learned how to ride it that way. Rode it for years like that. Then I stripped all the fenders off, paint off the tank, just straight tank, bobber style for, God, like 9 or 10 years. And then we decided to make these hardtails. And here's the story of Pedro and Pedro.
How'd you come up with the name Pedro?
So years ago, we used to be on this forum on Delphi forums for like just VLX shadows and working on them and stuff. And they would have a monthly best shadow of the month. So I entered to win that. And it was like, I did the whole Napoleon Dynamite thing, vote for Pedro. The name just stuck. So it's been Pedro ever since.
Nice.
So we did the TJBC hardtail. E-tank is custom built Octa tank. Couldn't find anything, so I just made it. Just a bunch of flat stock, cut it, made a jig, welded it out. Custom 2-into-1 pipe using some ripple pipe from Anthony up at Old's Cool Choppers. It's not stainless, it's been chromed. They chromed it for me. Maypam forwards with some awesome brass pegs that were made for me by Anthony. Let's see, what else? TJ tank with some patina and clear coat. I can't remember where I got this fender, and but I was looking for fender. Everybody was out of the flat fenders forever, and I found this one. It was like a hot rod shop. Got it for 40 bucks, and it had that little duckbill flip on the end.
Yeah.
Little Keep Choppers sketchy brass plaque, kind of ripped off Support Yourself. Sent it to him. I was like, hey man, I'm sorry, I had to do it. So this is cool. This is a cool story. So this overflow, TJ made that for me years and years ago, before TJ's Brutal Custom really started. He was making just really cool overflow holders, and so I said, hey man, hit me up, make me one. So he made that for me. It sat on my wall in the shop for years and years and years, just like art. And so when we did this, I had to put it on there. So then, extra gas, and this is cool too. Check this out. So coil mount, side coil mount, just a pair of old needle nose pliers, welded on some bungs, used case bolts to hold it on there. Little Easter egg peso hiding in there, just for somebody to find.
Yeah.
Yeah, just there's little knickknacks all over the bike, like the brass praying hands. Kind of have them watch over me while I'm riding.
Yeah.
This little stupid little mouse up on the front. My grandmother used to beat the crap out of me for playing with this when I was a kid, so I had to put it on my chopper.
Really?
Yeah.
So you played with mouse when you were younger?
She had like hundreds of these things, and I would steal them and play with them. That one was my favorite because it looked evil. Look at it. So I would always steal it, and then I ended up with it. So I decided it had to go on something she would hate, my motorcycle.
That's cool.
So it's 6 over front, stock forks with TJ 6 slugs, 6-inch slugs. These bars are old Sportster bars I found. They didn't fit, so years ago, before I could weld, I sent them to TJ. He put a slug in the middle of them for me.
Looks good, man.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I like the brass mirror too.
I don't know where that came from. I think that's Amazon special.
Really? It looks good, man.
Yeah. And then just, dirt and grime from riding the crap out of it and being here at Fuel next to the road. So Shinko tires, because I love Shinko tires. They're cheap and they run forever. I didn't really want to go the Firestone route, because I'm kind of like everybody goes the Firestone route, and I don't know. It just worked out really well for this bike. So I think that's it. TC Bros, Sissy Bar, and some Model A tail light that I found on eBay or something. I can't remember. I've had it for years. But that's pretty much it.
What's your top 3 favorite mods?
Top 3 favorite mods. Okay, so number 1's got to be the Octatank. Just fabbing this up led to all kinds of cool ideas for some other things I haven't told anybody about yet.
Yeah.
So this like changed the game for my headspace about just different things you can do with a shadow that most people don't do.
Yeah.
These pipes are probably number 2, because you don't see many people fab up 2-into-1 pipes.
Yeah.
So
especially shadows.
yeah, so I love the way they sound. I love the way it makes it ride a little. It's like a little low-end performance boost. It's not much, but it really is there. And then I gotta say the 6 over front. I didn't think I would like it. It's tiny bit floppy, but once I learned how to anticipate the flop and throw it into a turn, it's like, might as well be a crotch rocket. I mean, I ride it like that. But yeah, I think those are my 3 favorite.
Future plans?
Future plans, yes, actually. So I procured a set of Forks by Frank 14 over forks.
Dang.
So it'll be 14 over, ride it that way for a while, and then I'm going to put it back on the table and rake it 60 degrees, make it sit a little bit lower and just be a little more stable, rake and trail more in play. Taller sissy bar, and probably some new exhaust going up the sissy bar. Sorry Eric, but if you won't sell me Ethel, I'm just going to build one.
What's the story behind this thing right here?
Which one?
The spike.
Spike. So this is TJ Spike, and it was when we were building these bikes, he advertised the first run of a couple. He wanted to try them out and see if they would work, and I jumped on it. I don't like spikes, but I like brass, and I like TJ a whole lot, so I wanted to kind of try it out. Took some pictures of it, sent them to them so they could use them on their website and stuff, but I ended up liking it, and everybody's like, oh my God, what happens if you smack your face on it? So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Are you a welder or something?
I am a welder. I'd spent about 10 years in a fabrication shop welding pipe. The funny thing is, I only learned how to weld and did that job so I could do this.
Wow.
That was the one thing that kept me, the one thing that really kept me from building the bikes that I wanted was being able to weld.
Yeah.
So when I had the opportunity to learn how, and especially learn how to TIG weld, I jumped on it, and especially if they're going to pay me to do it. So I did that until I felt I was good enough to quit, and I hated it. So I quit, picked up the camera again, did photography full time, and now I work on these, so pictures and motorcycles.
Any tips for guys that trying to get into the chop game?
Yeah, just do it. Get a bike and chop it. If you're gonna mess it up, there's enough people in the community to help you get through it. It's really not that hard. Even if you want to do a hardtail kit, you can go pick up a flux core and knock it out. There's enough videos on YouTube. There's enough people out there to help you figure it out. So just do it. Get your hands dirty and jump in. Don't be scared of it. I mean, that's the whole reason why we do this, is to show people it can be done and be fun and not be a $20,000 bike.
Get your hands dirty. Got something you want to do with your bike, don't be afraid to do it. You know, there's a super community out there, especially for people chopping shadows. Get your hands dirty and do it. Make it yours.
Cool. Thank you for your time, man.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.